The night everything broke felt like the universe paused for one impossible heartbeat. Rain hammered against the city streets, neon lights blurred through the drops, and Alina stood frozen outside the cafe where it all began, where she first saw Adrian, and where everything seemed so perfect until it wasn't. She'd come to return the key he gave her, the one he said would always open both his door and his heart. But now, her fingers shook around the tiny piece of metal as if it weighed more than all the memories between them. They had collided unexpectedly months ago, 2 different worlds, 2 different dreams, 2 different fears. Alina was the quiet type, a girl who hid her pain behind smiles and believed in holding herself together no matter how broken she felt inside. Adrian, on the other hand, was a storm, passionate, loud, expressive, someone who loved with an intensity that both healed and terrified her. They shouldn't have fit. Yet somehow, they did. Their first challenge came before their relationship even started. Adrian had fallen for Alina immediately, but she kept her distance. She had been hurt before, and she had promised herself never to let anyone close enough to break her again. But Adrian didn't force her, he waited, he listened, he stayed. He learned her silence, understood her fears, and held her gently until she finally trusted him enough to stay beside him. Months passed like a dream, late night walks, long talks on rooftops, soft laughs echoing in empty streets. But beneath all the warmth, challenges began forming like cracks in glass. Adrian's job demanded long hours, leaving Alina feeling forgotten. Alina's insecurities resurfaced, making Adrian feel like he wasn't enough. Arguments started small but grew until they felt like battles neither wanted to fight. The worst came on a night Adrian was supposed to pick her up from her art class. He forgot, lost in work again. Alina waited outside in the cold, watching everyone else leave with people who remembered them. By the time Adrian arrived, she was hurt enough to say words she didn't mean, and he was tired enough to not stop them. Their fight ended with silence, painful, heavy, and unfamiliar. 4 days, they didn't speak. Pride built walls between them, and both were too scared to make the first move. That was when Alina decided to return the key. She walked into the cafe with steps that felt heavier than her heart. Adrian was there, sitting in their corner seat, staring at the door as if he'd been waiting for her all along. His eyes widened when he saw her, worried, relieved, hopeful. She approached him quietly and placed the key on the table. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice almost breaking. "We keep hurting each other. Maybe we're too different. Maybe love isn't enough." Adrian looked at the key, then at her, his jaw tightening with emotion. "Love is enough," he said softly. "But fear isn't. And we've been letting fear make our choices." She sat down slowly, unable to walk away. He continued, his voice low, real, vulnerable. "I get lost in work because I'm scared of failing. I want to be someone worthy of you. I'm not good with emotions like you are. But losing you, that terrifies me more than anything." Tears rose in her eyes as she whispered, "And I push you away because I'm scared you'll leave. I compare myself to everyone you meet. I think one day you'll realize you deserve better." Adrian reached across the table, gently holding her trembling hands. "There is no better than you." Silence filled the space between them, but this time, it wasn't heavy. It was soft, healing, hopeful. Alina took a shaky breath. "Can we really fix this?" "We can," he said, his thumb brushing her hand. "But only if we stop fighting each other and start fighting for each other." The first step was forgiveness. The next was understanding. They agreed to rebuild slowly, no perfection, just effort. Adrian promised to balance his work and their relationship, not out of obligation but because he wanted her to feel valued. Alina promised to trust his love, not her fears, and to speak about what hurt her instead of burying it inside. It wasn't a magical overnight solution. They still had disagreements, they still stumbled. But this time, they held on instead of walking away. They talked more, listened harder, loved deeper. Weeks later, they stood on a hill overlooking the city, watching the sunset paint the sky gold. Adrian slipped the same key back into her hand, this time with no fear, no doubts. "This isn't just my door or my heart," he said. "It's our future. Only take it if you're ready to walk with me, not perfectly, but honestly." Alina closed her fingers around the key, feeling its warmth. She looked at him with all the love she had tried so long to hide. "I'm ready," she said, her voice steady. Not for a perfect love. For a real one. They leaned into each other, not as two people trying to fix broken pieces, but as two hearts finally choosing to grow together. Their message was simple yet powerful: love isn't about avoiding collisions. It's about what you choose to build after them.